be kept within the safe area of the tube. All right. Obviously, if you don't want to go from the inside of the tube to the outside, for example, by putting a pin into the tube, because again, these are fractures and they'll cause failure of restoration. And the wall indent should be reduced to a thickness less than its height for the sake of retention. Instances of compensation: mutilated cusps, missing cusps, inadequate coronal length, or missing clinical crown. So these are all situations, could be due to caries trauma or caries fracture, where cusps are lost, mutilated, or the crown fracture, you're missing a clinical crown. Restorative options: partial coverage, an inlay. When I was a case, we did a lot of gold inlays. Now you see the material choices are amalgam, composite, or again, a casting, for example, gold. Full coverage could be a crown, an onlay, or fixed partial denture abutment, could be a bridge abutment. Okay. Abutment augmentation: boxes, grooves, pins, and cores. Indications for cores: when the tooth destruction is extensive to the point that a clinical decision must be made to either augment the resistance and retention form with the addition of a material to build up the abutment. If 1/2 or more of the clinical crown has been destroyed, this core is then treated as though it were tooth structure. Alright, so we're looking at a severely damaged abutment. Half of the clinical crown lost, and we have to augment that lost tooth structure. You can't just prep half of the remaining tooth and think that a restoration would have adequate resistance and retention. The core guidelines: upon completion, should resemble all the features of the prepared abutment. Finish line for the definitive restoration should extend beyond the core and onto sound tooth structure. So, when you build up a tooth, you do a core buildup. You cannot terminate your finish line on the core, whether it's amalgam or composite or a hybrid of the two, a buildup material. You have to terminate your finish line on natural tooth. So you have to go beyond the core, go down past the core, margin interface, and onto the root surface. It's very important. Core materials: amalgam, composite, or custom metal castings, or cast post and core. Those are not that common anymore. We did them here, where we cast a core that's cemented onto the tube, and then we prep it. Alright, the post and core. General considerations: there's two types of posts, passive and active. Here at the school, we're going to use a passive post. Active posts sometimes can cause root fracture. Post space is not needed. A conservative access opening has been made. Simply fill the tooth with the definitive restorative material of choice, again either amalgam or composite, or one of the core buildup materials that are commercially available. If the extended decay violates the vital core, then a post is indicated. Preparation of the post should preserve the remaining tooth structure. The post retains the core. Remember, I told you that at the beginning of class, the function of the post is to retain the core. The post doesn't reinforce the tooth, doesn't make it any stronger, and you'll remember that for the rest of your life after you leave dental school. The ferrule effect. Alright. Ferrule tends to refer to a barrel. Now, barrels have bands around, if you picture like a wine barrel, whiskey barrel, it's wooden. There's a metal band that goes around the outside that holds the barrel together. This is called the Farrell effect. In dentistry and in crown and bridge, we utilize the Farrell effect as well. All right? Encirclement of at least 1 millimeter of a vertical axial tooth structure within the walls of the crown. So what this means practically, if you have a core buildup on a tooth, you would extend at least 1 millimeter past the restorative margin under the root to create resistance and retention form for your crown that's going to go over the core. Again, you can't cement a crown that terminates on restorative material and expect that it will stay when lateral forces would tend to shear the crown and the core away from the tooth. You have to get down onto the root of the tooth by at least 1 millimeter. This tends to be a test question. How many millimeters in a ferrule for dental crown and bridge? When I was here, they taught us 2. Now Dr. Graves is saying 1 millimeter. But ideally, you want to get as far under that root as possible so that you utilize the ferrule effect. The ferrule is on the root surface. You've built the tooth up, you've now prepared the tooth, and you've prepared down onto the root of the tooth, past the margin, and the ferrule refers to the area on the root surface. Right? It's a 1 millimeter wide surface on the root, gingival to the restorative material. Okay. Alright, at the school, they have prefabricated posts. Alright, they're made by Colteen Weldent. I think they're headquartered in Akron, Ohio. And it's called the Parapost system. It's a one-visit office technique. And this is what the packages look like. There are titanium alloy posts that are cemented into the root. There are ceramic posts. Here are the Parapost fiber white, and there are stainless steel posts. Okay. Here Dr. Graves has illustrated the beginning of the post preparation. You see, first drawing, she's doing the axial preparation. All right, and you can see the dotted line where the pulp is, okay, the root canal space. The second picture, bottom right, you see where Dr. Graves is now accessing the pulpal tissue. Alright, clinical procedure. Prepare the abutment to receive a crown. Remove all existing restorations and excavate caries. Alright, anytime you do a build-up for a crown, you do these 2 things. Take out the old material, unless you placed it the week before, and you know what is under the material that you placed, and obviously you excavate any remaining caries. But at the school, they don't allow you to just prep an old restored tooth because a lot of times there's something hiding under the old material. It could be an old base. The way they taught us in school to do a cement base under amalgam buildups. So we want you to take all the material out, remove any caries. Right. Use the post guide template with a current radiograph of the abutment. You want to try to determine how long your root is. You want to determine how long the root canal is, because you're going to use this information when you prepare the root canal system to receive a post. All right. As I said, determine the post size and length. The post should fulfill one of these clinical instances. Must equal the length of the crown, or 2/3 the length of the root. There should be a minimum length of 4 millimeters of gutta percha remaining at the apex. So the tooth has had a root canal. Let's say it's 20 millimeters long. It's a bicuspid. You look at your x-ray, you measure with a ruler, and you have 15 millimeters of gutta percha in the root canal space. So Dr. Graves is saying 2/3 the length of the root, 2/3 the length of the root would be 10 millimeters. We would want to have ideally a 10 millimeter post. But you always need to leave an apical seal in a root. And Dr. Graves is suggesting minimum length of 4 millimeters of gutta percha. 5 is acceptable. Generally, when I do a posting core, look at the x-ray, measure the x-ray, measure the post, and go down and try to leave a 5 millimeter plug. If you leave less than 4 millimeters, you are susceptible to apical leakage because most lateral canals occur in that area at the bottom 4 to 5 millimeters of the root. So you want to have those areas adequately obturated and sealed before you cement a poster. Okay. Illustration with the crown length as well as the root length. And AF, apical foramen, that's the apical seal you would want to maintain about 4 millimeters. You see the extent of the post that leaves the apical foramen area intact and filled with gutta percha. Clinical procedure. After completing the prep, remove a small amount of gutta percha with a heated endodontic instrument. Okay? There are touching heated instruments, or you can flame heat an instrument. Begin the post space with silicone endodontic stock at your predetermined length. There's little orange rubber stoppers that are in your root canal kit. You can place those around your parapost drill or your gate splitting drill to use as a length guide when removing gutta percha. You don't want to remove all the gutta percha or you're going to redo the root canal. So again, if we have a 20 millimeter root, we set the silicone endostopper at the 15 millimeter mark, and you would go into the gutta percha 15 millimeters to leave 5 millimeters intact at the apex. All right. The parapost drills are sequential widths. There are little narrow drills and there are big wide drills that are used on canines, for example. Little tiny incisors, you would start with the most narrow parapost drill and try to work your way up, keeping in mind that you want to have your post extended down 5 millimeters from the apex or 2/3 of the way down the root. Okay, parapost size guide. It's gauged in millimeters. The color guide, brown is the most narrow. Yellow, blue, red, purple, black, green. Okay, maybe used green twice in my life. Maxillary canine maybe, where I was doing a post and core, and again brown would be maybe a little mandibular incisor, something with a very small narrow canal. Red, typically on molars and bicuspids. Okay, palatal root of maxillary bicuspid, you might use a red. It's a pretty good sized root, or distal root of a mandibular molar. Mesial root of mandibular molar, they're small, narrow, curved, and fine, and you might be using a brown or a yellow post. But again, it's size dependent. Clinical procedure, cleanse the post space, irrigate with water. That'll work here. On a real patient, you use sterile saline. And attempt to seat the selected post. Make sure the post seat is firm, and you verify the seat with the radiograph. If you prep down 15 millimeters and your post is only going down 10 millimeters, you need to do two things. One of two things. Either use a narrower post that'll seat further apically, or take your post drills out and try to prep down a little further so that you can seat the larger post. You have to be careful when you use the post drills. They can deflect, and something you don't want to encounter with the patient is to push the post drill out labially or lingually and then hit the PDL. And clinically, generally the way you know that, if you've done a root canal on a tooth, you know there's no pulp tissue in it, and you push a post drill into a tooth and suddenly you see bright red blood, you've probably gone through the PDL and the tooth needs extracted. So root canal is wasted and the patient will be getting an implant or a fixed bridge. Okay? All right. Here Dr. Graves has an illustration of initial gut aperture removal. And we're going to assume that this tooth is been root canal, and there's gut aperture material in the tooth, and either the gates glidden or the piezo reamer drill has been inserted into the canal for gross gut aperture removal. This will remove the gut aperture, but remember we have to follow with the parapost drills to machine the inside of the root to fit the corresponding parapost, which is either stainless steel, ceramic, or carbon fiber. Okay, then following the gates glidden drill or the piezo reamer for gross gut aperture removal, you obtain a parapost drill kit, and again, the drills are color-coded. Brown is the most narrow, it's 0.026 inches, and then the green is the widest, and that's 0.07 inches or 1.75 millimeters. Right. So you work your way up the drills. You start with the brown drill, graduate to the yellow, and follow with the blue, try to get to the red. If it seems like you've hit a wall with the yellow drill when you insert it, you got to go back to the brown drill, and you're probably going to be seating and cementing a brown 036 parapost. Alright? Once you've verified your post seat, prepare for post cementation. You will not be cementing posts in this class. Dr. Graves said you'll only be placing the post and doing a composite core buildup on top of the post. So you cleanse the post space, select diluting agent, glass ionomer cement, and always follow the manufacturer's guidelines. Cement the post, allow the cement to reach a final set, and then you begin the core restoration. Okay. 3M Reliance does a modified glass ionomer cement. It's recommended. Clinical procedure for the core buildup. You're going to place a matrix. You're going to do a big buildup. Then you're going to prep it down into hopefully an ideal crown prep. So you tend to overbuild the core buildup and then prep it down to an ideal prep, much like you prep natural tooth structure. You would then fabricate a provisional and evaluate margin integrity, the contours, and the location. Graves provided another example of the ferrule effect. And A is a nice illustration because it shows the zone beyond the core onto the root where you want to create your finish line and terminate your restoration so that you're cementing onto intact, untouched tooth structure, as opposed to terminating on restoration. If you end at the margin line, the crown can fracture off suddenly. And again, picture illustrating the ferrule. You see the crown, you can see the core in gray. Beneath the gray core, you see the ferrule area, and below that, you see the post inside the rib, the apricot seal. Today's simulation clinical, we will be adjusting this because we do not have the parapost drills and we do not have the parapost. So, I talked to Dr. Graves by text message a while back, and she'd like you to obtain your endodontically treated central incisor in the clear block. Take this head of root canal. We're going to simulate incisal edge damage. That would be the easiest thing you do in dental school. You're simulating a fracture. It could look like you ran a buzzsaw through the middle of the crown and took the top half of the clinical crown away. It could be that you created a flag-like fracture that is at a 45-degree angle and involves the incisal edge. You can be creative, but don't just take a millimeter off of the tooth because you're not going to have anything to build up. And part of the fun is severely damaging the tooth, putting the post in it, building it up, and then prepping it for a crown. And there's actually no right answer for the fracture damage that you create. You can be creative, but be aggressive as far as how much tooth structure you remove. Because if you put a little 1 millimeter core in, you're going to buzz that right away when you prep the tooth. You won't even see your core material under your provisional crown. So, try to be creative. And that's it. So, next step, obtain your endo block. Dr. Graves said you should have gate splitting drills inside your endo kit. You guys know what a gate splitting drill is? It's a long, latch drill with a bell-shaped cutting head on the end of it. It comes in a little red plastic case, and I was not provided with a picture what they look like, but little red plastic case has 5 long drills, latch-ended, and it says gate splitting drill on the outside of it. And you use that to remove gut approaching, and that will be the stopping point today. If you guys can't find your gate splitting drills, then we are stopping at obtaining the endo block with the root canal treated central incisor. There will be a competency either next week or the week after. Remember what I said? You want to have a decent looking soft tissue cast mounted. It would behoove you to have an exposed margin on the implant platform so that you can see your margin and finish your margin with your provisional restoration. Dr. Graves likes these provisionals that you'll have to make after prepping the provisional abutment. She likes the margins to have a nice little 1 millimeter round ring on the cervical third of your provisional. If you have anything wider than that little circle that you can see on your provisional abutment, you're impinging on tissue, and I know that you think it'll make the tooth look funny, but you only want to have a 1 millimeter margin at that cervical third of the provisional. This is a really easy way to make points on a competency, and a real way to get in trouble is to have a big, wide 3 millimeter margin that impinges on tissue. Okay? So those are the hints that I have for you for the competency. And again, Angela hasn't said when it is, but she really wants you guys to have those models prepped and ready. And then we'll issue out a new provisional abutment. You'll